Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome to this particular video. In this particular video, we are going to start to design our portfolio web page, right? So this is what we have over here. So I'm going to play this stuff right now. So we're going to see how it looks like. So this is the web version of this particular portfolio. So we have our menu and we have other design. So the design is yet to be completed, but the UI UX design group is going to complete design, while we are the developer section, we are going to actually convert this particular design into the actual working code, right? So the first thing you want to do when you are handed over a design like this, a prototype, be it on XD or on Figma, right? Basically, this design that you are seeing right now is a prototype on XD, right? So the first thing you want to visually segment your sections, your design or the particular page you want to design into sections. For example, now I could see that we have the navigation, we have the hero box over here, and we also have this other section called the design section. So I've used my eyes to visually just separate this particular web page into several sections, right? So the first thing I want to do is to start to design it sections by sections. Now, if I go back to my system, I've created a particular folder here called portfolio, and this portfolio is basically empty. There is nothing in this particular folder. So the next thing I want to do is open my Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to click on VS Code. So that's the text editor I want to use. Now you can use any text editor you choose to use, basically, right? So you can use any text editor you choose to use. So I have several projects I've been working on here. So let me open this particular project, right? So I'm going to say open new one. That is saved inside my documents. I have dev, web, self, Netlify 2, and I have my portfolio. So basically, it's an empty folder. There's nothing. There's basically nothing inside this particular folder, right? There's nothing in this particular folder. So I'm going to open it. So I've opened it. So basically, this is it. So I'm going to create my first index file, which is the HTML. So I'm going to click on it. So this is the folder basically. So I'm going to create a new file by clicking here. So I'm going to name this file index.html. Alright, so I've created this particular index.html, so I can just easily create my HTML document right now, right? So I have my HTML document. Now, just like I created the HTML document automatically appear inside the folder, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is basically write my basic structure. So I'm going to start with the head, of course, followed by the title of the document. Then I'm going to call this title portfolio, right? Let us call it portfolio. Or better still, we should just call it my portfolio because you're definitely designing it for yourself, right? So my portfolio. So we're going to create the body section. And this body section right now is going to house every single thing about our design, right? So I'm just going to call this, I'm just going to create a simple h1 tag here, which we are going to delete later on. But I'm just going to call this my portfolio. Now I can easily run this on the browser, right? I can easily run this particular stuff now on the browser, and we are going to see what we have designed. So if I go back to where I saved it and I click here and I click on open on Google Chrome, right? I'm going to see this exactly design on the browser right here, right? So basically, so at this particular point in time, anything I do, if I make a particular change right now, let's say I create a p tag and I come over here and I make a certain change, I save, I have to come over here and refresh, right? But Visual Studio Code allows us to install a particular extension called Live Server that enable us to easily carry out hot reload kind of functionality. So what you're going to do is to click on extension over here. So once you click on extension over here, this particular icon, you can just simply search for Live Server. So basically, launch Live Server. So this is it. I'm just going to click on install. So basically, it's installing. Amazing. So it's done installing. So I'm saying uninstall and stuff like that. I've installed this particular live server right now. So if I come back over here, I can easily just run this thing. I see it's saying open with live server, right? So once you right click on the file, you see open with live server. So I can easily just click on it and open with live server. Oops, so it's opening inside my what's it called? It's opening inside my Safari, which is my default browser. So what the live server does is that immediately I make any change like this now, new change, and save, you see that it automatically changes immediately. I don't necessarily need to start refreshing all the time. So I just said I should use the opportunity and do that. I want to close my Safari. I want to use my Chrome. I love using my Chrome, so I'm going to paste it over here. Right, so any change, new change, another. Once I save it like this, it's affecting it immediately, right? So I don't necessarily need to start refreshing all the time, right? So that's amazing. So since we've done that, the next thing we want to do, we want to just carry on with our design immediately, right? Now, before we carry out our design, there's a particular tag in HTML called the viewport, named viewport, that actually enable us to ensure that our design is responsive. So ensure that you don't forget this particular tag in HTML. So I'm going to say meta tag. Let's close it. So the name of the tag is called viewport name, viewport, then content. The content of the viewport is like this. You see width is equal to device dash width, you now say comma, initial dash scale is equal to 1.0. So this particular meta tag here allows us to ensure that your design is really responsive, right? And so that's it. So I'm going to save this. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to create my own HTML file, right? So I want to create my own CSS. So I'm going to create another file here. So I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to call this one style.css. So once I call it style.css, I'm going to go to my view here and try to split my screen. So basically I want to split my my screen into two views. So I'll say split to column. So when I split to column, I'll drag my CSS to this portion, right? I don't want this particular column, so I'll drag my CSS to this portion, so I can simply close this. So I have something like this. So here is my CSS and here's my HTML. So let me quickly link this particular external style sheets. So I can use that using the link tool. So the link tool have a particular attribute called rel, which is the style sheet itself. And the style sheets href is the one that actually links it. So this href now is going to be style.css. Alright, so basically this simply means it's working. So I could use body to style my entire body. For example, if I want to change the background now to red, I can easily just do that, right? So you could see that it's changing to red over there. Now some other people use asterisks instead of the body tag. It still works perfectly. So anyone that you want to use, feel free to use it, right? So let me go back and use just body tag. So we are going to use a particular color called ash F5 F5 F5. So we are going to save it. Now if you take a look at our design and our XD, you realize that this particular color here is not fully white, rather it's a gray color, which is F5 F5 F5, right? It's a simple gray color. And since we've done that, the next thing, I want to actually use Bootstrap on this particular project. So I'm going to install Bootstrap. So all you need to do is go to bootstrap.com. You can simply go to bootstrap.com. So once you go to bootstrap.com, you scroll down, getbootstrap.com, not bootstrap.com, getbootstrap.com. So once you go to getbootstrap.com, you see the CSS file here. That's just all we need. You can just copy it here. So once you copy that, don't forget you can always follow us on our YouTube channel. This video is going to be uploaded on this particular channel. Follow us and ensure that you subscribe so that you get to know more and receive notification of other of our videos. And as well as you can follow us on Twitter as well. Our handle on Twitter is twitter.com/netding. So you can do well to follow us on Twitter as well. So that being said, let's go back to our project. So back to our project. So the next thing that we are going to do is go back to our Visual Studio Code, and we are going to add the link to this particular file. So now I've added this particular link now. So this particular link that we just copied now is for our Bootstrap 5. So the current version of Bootstrap is Bootstrap 5.0. So we'll be writing on Bootstrap 5.0, which is super amazing. So if we take a look, every stuff have been actually reloaded and it's working super fine and super amazing. So the next thing we want to do quickly is to take this off and let's just start designing immediately, right? So I'm going to create a container using Bootstrap, right? I'm going to create a container. I'm going to give it of a class. I'm going to call it container, and I'm going to create another div. I'm going to give this div a class, Bootstrap class called column sm column 2. I'm going to duplicate this particular class, this particular div, and I'm going to give the middle one 8. Alright, so this one is going to have our logo, because if you take a look at the design very well, you realize that we have the logo here, this stuff that looks like the initial of my name, Samuel, and we also have the menu items here, and we also have this particular button here. So let's do quick and create that immediately. So inside here, this is where we have the logo. So we're going to call this button. I'm going to give it a class. This is a Bootstrap class called btn. Just put it there, and let's create our logo, right? So this logo, capital letter S. So inside here too, we also have another btn, another button. Let's create a class here. So let us call this btn dark, which is also a Bootstrap class. So let's type contacts me. Alright, that's what we'll have here. So let me just bring this on here so we'll be seeing what we are doing. So basically that's that. So if I come over here now, I can easily style this logo. Let me add another extra class here. Let me just call it logo. So we're able to style it from our CSS. Right? So that's exactly what we have. So the next thing that we could do is I could actually create my unordered lists here. I'll call this li, and I could create a link tag, an a tag if I want to. So let me just create that sharply. I'm going to give that hashtag f, just hashtag, nothing in there. Duplicate it 3 times so that the first one is going to have design. The second one is going to have production. The third one is going to have life, and the fourth one is going to have community. So if I save that, this is what we have created immediately. So I'm going to create an anchor tag. So my anchor tag, now I'm going to give it a full color of full black. You see that? So I'm going to also remove the underline using text decoration. None is going to remove that for me. Amazing. Then I'm going to set a simple hover for my a tag. A simple hover effect for my a tag. So I'm going to give this guy just like a very light gray. So you see that simply means once you hover it, you're going to have, oops, instead of color I wrote column. Let me correct that. Alright, so basically, see, once you hover it, it's going to give us very light gray. So the next thing I want to do is I also want to add letter spacing, because the entire design has a letter spacing of 2px thereabout. So you see that. So the font used in this particular design is called Montserrat. So let's see how we can actually install Montserrat font to it. So if you want to install Montserrat font to it, what you are going to do is let's see, I think we missed something. Oops, we didn't create a row. So let's add a row here. Amazing. So instead of closing this div, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to close it right here and trying to indent it properly by tabbing it forward. Alright, so we omitted this, so the row should actually enclose the other columns, right? So if we reload this or increase it basically, so we're going to have something that looks like this, which is really great. Now the next thing we want to install Montserrat, right? So if you want to install Montserrat, just go search for Google Fonts. So once you search for Google Fonts, the first one comes up, then you search for Montserrat here. Montserrat, that's this one. So I'm going to pick this particular Montserrat Light, I think, this one. So this is the entire one. So I'm going to pick this font for Montserrat. I'm going to copy this now. So we're going to paste it. So all we need to do is to copy that link, and you can just paste it here, right? And if you take a look at that, so this is our font family as well. So you can copy that too and just paste it here as well. So there's another Montserrat I would actually love us to also get. The Montserrat that is bold. That's what we use for the logo. So we're going to look at it. Here is it. I think that is 600 semi-bold or something. It's 600. Yep. I think it's a 600. So I'm going to select this. We don't want this other one. So let's copy this link. Let's come over here. Let's just paste it here. Then we don't want this swap and the rest, whatever was written there. Then I'm going to just change this family name to Montserrat bold. Alright, so let's see the effect it's going to have on our design. So automatically you see the fonts of the design has automatically changed, right? Which is really amazing. Then let's change the logo. So let's type the logo class that we created previously. So we want to make that particular one bold, so we're going to say font suite. So not font suite, font family, basically this particular one. Font family for the other one, the second one, that is bold. So we're going to save that. So you see it's only this particular logo that is affected. So the next thing we want to do, we want to give our menu a particular class. So let us call this, give it a class, and call this C menu, nice custom menu, and copy this link and come over here to try to create the class. So we can give this text align, text align center, and see what we have. Let's see if this is stretch. Alright, I think it's going to give us some type of stretch, which is really amazing. Let's just bring our design here so we can be seeing what we are designing. Test center stretch, list, style type none. Sorry, list type should not be here. We should do it under C menu. Then we use this stuff to go to the LI. That is connector, CSS connector basically. That is pick all the whole LI and list style type none. So it's going to remove all the bulleted type of that particular one. So the next thing we're going to do is let's save this. Exactly, this particular area wasn't saved, so this type none. This type remove the icon. Let me take it back. See, so it removes the bulleted icon. So we do that. Then to make them fall along each other, we're going to create display inline. Alright, so now they are now by each other's, right? Then we can as well give them let's give our general a font size. So the general font size should be 14px. So we've done that. So the next thing we want to do now is to give this guy margin right. So we're going to give him margin right, say 30px. Amazing. So we have it like that. So as you can see, more or less it's now taking shape and it's looking like our design basically, right? So it's looking like our design. So we could actually pad it down a little bit. The logo, we could choose to remove the padding that comes with Bootstrap logo by default. Padding, let's give it 0px. Then we can come under here, under this rule actually, or under the container, can give it a pt3. So it just brings everything down, but you can give it even 4 to anyone, just bring it down a little bit. So this is what we have basically, and it's super amazing, and it's great. So that's it. It's now looking pretty much like our design that we have here. It's looking much like our design that we have right here, right now, right? So it's looking like that. So what happens that the fonts that we are using is not really matching design. So let me see something. There's a particular font. Probably we are going to remove this Montserrat weight stuff and see if there is going to be any difference. Yeah, I think it's a little different. Alright, that's great. Alright, that's been done. Since we've done that, so the next thing we want to do now is as you can see, we want to ensure that this particular design is responsive in such a way that when you minimize it like this, what happens is it goes off and a menu icon actually appear on the home. So if we want to do this, the first thing we are going to do is to create our CSS, right? So we need to create our media query. So how do we create media query in CSS? At media, only screen, right? And max width. So the width where we want to take effect, I want to take it to at 768px, right? So everything we write here now is going to take effect at 768px, right? So one of the things I love to do is so let's see. So the C menu, we want it to be available, so we can just simply say C menu, right? Display none. See that? It's just that simple. Now, so one of the things I love to do, I love to create two class. I love to call one of the class desktop. So I'm mobile, so I'm going to create a mobile class here. So in my mobile class, I'm going to say display none. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come over here, delete this other one that we created, and say display none here. And for here it turns to block. Here this, I change this to desktop, right? So anything I don't want it to be on the mobile, to be visible on the mobile, I'm definitely going to change it. So basically that's how I work. So that's how I do it. So I can just give this desktop now, and also give this desktop. So this is what we are going to have. This simply means that it's going to be available on our desktop, but the moment you are bringing it down to mobile, you are not going to see it anymore, right? But it's definitely going to be available on the desktop, which is quite cool. But let's take it to our mobile. So our mobile view now, we want to actually output a particular button. So I'm going to create a button here, and this button is going to be visible only on mobile. So I'm going to give it a class. I'm going to call it btn, and inside this btn class, we're going to have like 3 divs. So each of these divs I'm going to give it a class. I'm going to call this bar. I'll duplicate it 3 times. So I'll come here and create my bar. So if I create my bar, I'm going to give my bar like width, say 18px. I'm going to give it border 1px solid black. Alright. And so I'm going to give this is going to have a class called mobile. Alright, so basically that's it. That's the bar we are seeing there. And I'm going to give this I'm going to give it like margin bottom. Let's see, 3px. So it gives us this menu field, right? So I'm going to create a class here. I'm going to create this class. I'm going to call it mIcon. As mobile icon basically. So I'm going to create the mobile icon here. I'll first of all float it to the right. So float right. Once I float it right, it goes to the right, and I'm going to give it like a margin top of minus 30px. So this is what we have. This is what we have basically, and so we have our navigation set up properly. So the next thing we are going to do is add a little bit of JavaScript to ensure that once we click here, something comes up, right? And let's take a look at our logo. Let's see our logo. Let's give it a font size. Font size, give it like 20px. So that is it. Desktop, mobile. Now, as you can take a look inside our XD design tool, we also have the mobile version, right? So this is how it looks on mobile. So this is what we are designing on mobile, and this is what we are designing on the desktop. So we've got the field. So the next thing that we need to do is to get what the drawer to come up when this particular aspect is being clicked. But this is where we're going to end the video. So the next thing we're going to do is how do we upload this video online so that people will be able to see this particular website, right? So let's go to see how we can host this website at ease. So if you want to host this website for people to see, you can go to Netlify. So once you go to Netlify, I'm going to log out. So once you go to Netlify, you can click on, go to the major app, showing app.netlify. So once you go to netlify.com, you're going to see something like this, and you can click sign up. So once you click on sign up, it's going to bring you to this particular option, right? So once you bring you to the particular option, you can create an account with GitHub or Dress, but better still, you can create an account with just your email, right? So you can click here, then you can just create an account, right? I think I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. So I'm going to log in with my email. Alright, I'm logging in. So the moment I log in, I have just only one website up and running right here. Alright, so this particular one I have up and running, I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to go over here and click on settings, and click on danger zone, and click on delete this site. So basically, this is crazy. 894698. Alright. Amazing. So I've deleted this particular website, so I don't have any website. So once you log into Netlify, you're going to have it under your site. You're going to, or team overview, you're going to have something practically empty. Now for you to install your website, it's very, very easy. All you need to do is basically, I'm going to stretch this a little bit. So basically just drag and drop the folder. So this is the folder that we are working on. Just drag it and put it here. So when you put it here, it will start uploading. Okay, I didn't think that actually worked. So let me do it again. Let me drag and put it here. So now it's uploading now. So it has uploaded. Site has not yet been deployed. My site has been deployed amazingly. So the moment I click on this link right now, I'm able to see my site, and I'm able to share this link to anybody. So that is how easy for you to actually deploy your site, right? So if we make changes, all we need to do is just to bring it back, right? So I'm going to show you guys right now. So if we inspect and try to see our mobile view, you could see that everything is working just as designed, right? So in the next video, we'll continue with our design, and we're going to proceed with actually designing the hero box and other aspects of the website, right? So let's make a little change now. If you realize here, you will see that in this particular design, this button have rounded edges, while on our XD here, there is no rounded edges, right? So how do we correct that and also update it on Netlify? So what we're going to do, I'll go back to my design. I'll go back to my button. So where's my button? So basically this is the button here, BTN. So I'm just going to say CBTN, which stands for custom button. I'll save that. I'll come over here, and I'm going to create my CBTN. So once I create my CBTN, I'm going to say border radius 0px. So if I say border radius 0px, I'm going to have let's see, this is it, right? So basically you can see that the border radius 0px. Now if we take a look at our design very well, you realize there is a shadow. So let's see the shadow property that particular button was given from the design itself. So so it was given 6, 6, 20, and 6, 6, 6, 20, and trying to make this editable. Alright, and it's what 9%. So let's try to create that same particular shadow in our code. So we're going to write box shadow 6px 20px RGB A 0 0 0 0.09. So let's see what we have. Alright, the shadow has been applied. So now if you look at how do we now update this particular make these particular changes on the website that we just hosted, which is this particular one that is hosted, right? So for us to make the changes, you just go back to your site where you hosted your site. You will see production deploy. You click on production deploy, and this particular stuff is going to appear again. So you're going to click here and just drag the folder and put it back there again. You're going to say uploading, and I think it's done uploading. Second one is to production. So once I come over here now and refresh, see the changes have been applied effectively. So that's how you host on Netlify. You design, you host, and also apply changes on Netlify at ease, right? So thank you guys for watching this particular video, and in our next video we are going to continue with our portfolio design. See you guys in the next video.